sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. His land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
My friends told me it wasn't a big deal. They thought he was so cool. But they didn't know what he wanted me to do.
All I ever wanted was to feel loved. You have no idea the kind of pressure I felt to take things to the next level. Things were moving so fast. I was basically the only person in the freshman class who hadn't done it yet. So, we did.
I loved him.
I thought she loved me.
My health class had CPR at school. I stayed after class to talk with the instructor about it. They showed me that it didn't have to be that way.
They showed me that I get to make my own choices.
There is another way.
That's the best thing CPR gives you. Another way. A better way.
A healthy way. Sometimes you don't see it because you're in your own world, but they don't make you feel bad. They talk to you like a real person, and they save kids from really unhealthy decisions. They tell the truth, and they know what they're talking about. So yeah, my life was different. I started to choose the better way.
I honestly don't know where I'd be or what I'd be doing had it not been for CPR.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirits, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
After the Marine Corps, I was diagnosed with PTSD and became homeless for 15 years. Like a hermit living on the street, I just existed. I came to Wheeler Mission. Wheeler operates on a culture of kindness. Going through their programs reminded me that my meaning in life is to serve God. God set me free from anxiety and depression. Before Wheeler, I just existed. But today I live.
Sprinkles if you got them. Jack's Donuts, find a location near you, now.
Hey, conductor, how about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorite.
My kid heard that solo!
You say my kid?
IndianaSRN is on the air, live from Benford Boulevard and 75th Street on the campus of Heritage Christian High School. We're proud to bring you exciting girls high school basketball action as the Center Grove Trojans visit the Heritage Christian Eagles. Tonight's game is sponsored by IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences. Begin your journey today. The Morales Group, building better futures one story at a time. Bertner Electric, serving greater Indianapolis and the surrounding counties. Piper Logistics, from warehousing to transportation, we do it all. And Reynolds Farm Equipment, serving our customers and community since 1955. Along with producer Ben Wood, cameraman Jake Lang, and my partner Craig Cox. This is Clark Chafin. Craig, we just got 2 weeks left here in the girls' season, and sectional draw is coming up this Sunday. And, boy, we have an exciting matchup with two very good ball clubs.
No, we do. And, I mean, this is always the time of the year where it gets to be that big crunch time. Coaches of their respective programs, not just these two, but around the state on the girls' side, this is the time where you want to start heading into playing your best ball. Right around the corner from sectional play, with Heritage still having 4 games left after tonight. Center Grove only has 1. But this is where you want to try to, all the kinks should be worked out by now. It's an exciting time as we wind down the season and into postseason.
Well, let's take a look at the teams and get a snapshot here. First, we'll take a look at the home squad wearing white tonight, the Heritage Christian Eagles. They come in with a 13-4 record on the season. Coach Cassie Wiseman's in at 44-24 in her third year. Offensively, the Eagles average 60 points per game, and from a defensive standpoint, 50 points per game. And like you just said, Craig, you want to be playing your best basketball at the end of the year. The Eagles are 8-2 in their last 10 games and just came off an Indianapolis City Tournament champs. They beat Crispus Attucks 59-46, a good Chittard team 59-36, and took down Cathedral in the championship 55-49. The Eagles are playing, as you said, Craig, their best basketball here at the right time.
They are, and I mean that's Heritage is no stranger to playing up. They're a smaller fee-based school, but don't let that fool you. They're a storied program going back to the Rick Reisinger days of coaching Heritage and all the state championships that they won, and they kept winning from 1A to 2A, and now they've moved. So the landscape's a little bit different from them this year as they've moved up to 3A, but it really hasn't changed a lot of the scope of their schedule because they've always played up. So they're no stranger to playing 4A teams, and we'll see here tonight that they'll compete very well with a very good Center Grove team, which I'm sure we'll talk about here in a bit, that also has quite a bit of winning streak, coming in winning their last 12.
Yeah, they do. The Center Grove Trojans 16-4 on the season, coached by Kevin Stuckmeyer. Coach Stuckmeyer's in his 6th year leading that program. He's 107-42. Offensively, the Trojans average 50 points per game, but defensively is where they hang their hat, only giving up 35 points per game. And as you mentioned, Craig, they've won 12 games in a row. Thinking of their record at 16-4, 4 of those losses, and they average in those losses is only 5.5 points. I'm impressed with how tough their man-to-man defense is, and that's their calling card. It looks like, as we look at these two teams, it's strength versus strength.
It is. I mean, they're very stingy on the defensive end, as you just discussed. But something's got to give. You obviously look a lot into stat lines in terms of it speaks to the success or the indicators on what a team does well and then where some of their challenges has been. Obviously, Heritage is averaging 60 a game. They're giving up 35, so something's got to give there. But they do. A lot of the stat lines, there's a lot of parallels between these two teams and how they score. Center Grove averaging 50, giving up 35, where Heritage is scoring 60. Both of them shoot pretty well from the perimeter. The thing, too, is that neither of them have rebounded phenomenally by any ways, but again, there's a lot of similarities and parallels with these two teams.
The last meeting between these two squads, you got to go all the way back to the year 2000, November 16th. Center Grove won that matchup 66-27. We're going to come back and take a look at some impact players, get Craig's keys to the game, and let you know it's National Popcorn Day, so get your popcorn ready. It's Center Grove and Heritage Christian, and it's on IndianaSRN.
We really focus on modern application development, DevOps, so automating the whole process of delivering your solution, and cloud architecture.
It's very important for mid to large companies to have cloud partners because you can't possibly have all the talent you need to address the complex ecosystem of the cloud.
We advise them on all parts of their business. And then when things are defined and we see a clear goal, Clean Slate also then goes and does the work.
We have a team that is very passionate about what they do. We love to solve complex problems, and there's a lot of companies out there that will avoid, getting involved in those things, and I think that's why clients like to work with us.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. We want to let you know that this broadcast is copyrighted by IndianaSRN and the Indiana High School Athletic Association for the private use of our audience. The use of pictures, videos, and audio without the express written permission of the IHSAA is prohibited. Craig, if we look at both of these teams, there's some impact players that are and leaders from both squads that let's dive into. First, for Heritage Christian, you think of Heritage Christian, you think of that offense, you think of scoring, you think of Maya Davis averaging over 21 points a contest. You have Corin Marshall and Jocelyn Marshall, each a double-figure scorer, and then Casey Frost, a 5'10 sophomore, gives us a post presence, but isn't afraid to step out and shoot those threes. Tell us a little bit about these impact players and how will they help Heritage Christian to a win tonight?
Well, I think a lot of it. Anytime that you go into a game and you look at personnel, from the opponent side, it's like, hey, what can we do to try to limit those that are scoring well to try to make somebody else that might not have the comfort zone to do so? Sometimes that can be a little bit bigger task than what you set it out to be. I think in a lot of ways, these individuals are scoring in the areas that they are in bunches for a reason. So I think a lot of times it's, these young girls or ladies that are playing, that they're in a position where they got to look at the support cast and what they're doing to those around them. So I think a lot of it is just about containment. I think the Marshall girls and the sisters have provided great double-digit scoring to Maya. Maya's one that will certainly attack you in both ways, from the perimeter and attacking the basket. They're a team that likes to get out and get some things in transition mode as well. So Coach Wiseman is done a great job with this group. But the thing we talked about earlier, Clark, was, the youth on this team. Mm-hmm. They got a few seniors, but there's 5 freshmen on this, or 4 freshmen and like 3 sophomores that are getting time. So there's great land or what the horizon looks like in terms of with Coach Wiseman and the landscape of her personnel for the next few years to come.
If we look at Center Grove, they're led by Audrey Ane, a 5'9 junior, averaging 13-1. But then you look at the stats, Craig, and you've got 4 players averaging between 6 and 7 points. So, boy, that makes you that's a lot of support, and you really don't know who's going to step up. There's not really one feature outside of Ane who takes the majority of the shots for the Trojans. Outside of that, there's not really a focus and a key that you can really set your eyes on defensively.
Well, there's not. And a lot of times, people will look at it and see the flashy numbers in terms of they have a 20-point scorer like Heritage does, or they have a 16, 18-point scorer. But you got to look at depth, and that's one thing that Coach Stuckmeyer has is he has depth, he has balance, and he has experience. And so even though they don't have the high score, what they do have in Adrienne is they have a 13-point scorer, and then they got 5 or 6 of them that score anywhere from 6 to 8 apiece. So there's good balance there, and it's not to say that it's not good not to have that and have a high-point scorer, but sometimes it can be less is more. We talked about earlier tonight, we just talked about Purdue and talked about how Purdue has become better, with Ivy being gone. And it's not any knock on Jaden Ivey because he's a phenomenal player, but it's created more balance, and you have more weapons on the floor where your opponent has to defend that differently.
Right.
Because it's not one person for ISO ball or 2, it's possibly 4 or 5.
And they're all a threat. And if we take a look, we mentioned Ane with averaging 13 points per contest. Lily Bischoff is averaging 6.8. Aubrey Booker, the point guard, is averaging 6.5. Hobson is averaging 6.2. And then Rachel Wirtz, she could be an X factor with her size. You're talking about a 6'3 junior, and it's 52% field goal percentage and leads the team in rebounds in 5.5 and the 69% free throw shooter. She could be a wild card here as we move forward and the game progresses. Look at the upcoming games also for these teams as we're approaching the end of the season. Center Grove has one more game, and that's January 24th against Greenwood, and their season's done. Meanwhile, if we look at Heritage Christian, they still have 4 contests after tonight. So some games left before we get ready for sectional kickoff.
Well, and it's been no stranger, too, with Center Grove, as many of us know. They've played in the MIC for so long. Well, they stepped away from the MIC conference, and they're operating now as an independent, but they're still playing a lot of that carryover schedule. So to have a 12-game winning streak coming into this with the competitive schedule they have speaks volumes for their program.
We'll take a break and come back and give you the starting lineups and ready for tip-off. It's the Center Grove Trojans at the Heritage Christian Eagles, and it's only on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. IndianaSRN Center Grove Trojans visiting the Eagles of Heritage Christian. Clark Chafin alongside Craig Cox, Ben Wood, Jake Lang, excited to bring you this action. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for both teams. We'll first start with the visiting squad. Number 2, Andre Ane. Ane's a 5'9 junior. Number 3 is Aubrey Booker. Booker's a 5'8 junior. Number 20, Savannah Bischoff, a 5'9 senior. Number 23, Ella Hobson. Hobson's a 5'6 senior. And number 33, Rachel Wirtz. Wirtz, a 6'3 junior. And for the home team, Heritage Christian, they'll start off this way. Number 0, Maya Davis, the leading scorer. Davis, a 5'7 junior. Number 3, Corinne Marshall. Marshall's a 5'8 junior. Number 10, Jocelyn Marshall. She's a 5'9 sophomore. Number 22, Maddie Geary. Geary's a 5'7 senior. And rounding out the starting lineup for the Eagles of Heritage Christian is number 35, Casey Frost. Casey Frost, a 5'10 sophomore. And there you see starters as we get ready for tip-off. Heritage Christian in the home white, while the Trojans of Center Grove will be in their road reds, and be an interesting, a good start here, I think, for both teams. We'll get a good feel of what both teams want to accomplish, and if they can get in their offense early and get on the board early, and who establishes this lead.
No, I think absolutely, and I think one key part will be, too, for Center Grove is how well that they are able to more maintain the pace that Heritage a lot of times is trying to pursue.
Yeah, normally you see both teams in the defensive tip.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen anyone at half court with 9 girls or 8 girls on one side of the court. But the Trojans control the tip. Hobson directs the traffic, and we're underway. Man-to-man defense by Heritage Christian as they work it around the perimeter. Hobson on the wing. Top to Ane. Shot, fake, and drive, cut off nice. Inside to Wirtz, bobbles, and defense collapse, and there's a steal by Jocelyn Marshall.
Yeah, really good job of not only dealing with the penetration, but more of the drop down there, too, on the double to deflect that as we get another one here going the other way.
Good defensive help. Here's a drive down the lane, shot fake, and they're going to call that on the foul as Aubrey Booker drive down the lane, come to a nice jump stop under control. But they're going to say that foul is on the floor.
Yeah, one thing I love to see with Heritage coming out in that first defensive possession was just the activity. You know, not only you expect it on the ball, but what's the activity like when you're an off-the-ball defender? Are you jumping to the ball? Are you playing the gaps? Are you in position where you can help and close out penetration? And they showed that on multiple occasions there on the first possession.
Foul is on Heritage Christian. That's their first team foul. Center Grove will bring it out underneath the basket.
Got great ball presence here.
A lot of ball pressure. Here's a drive by Ane. Scoop shot no good. Frost gets the rebound, and here comes Davis. Push ahead to Marshall. Up and in. Corinne Marshall with her first 2, and Heritage Christian's on the board.
Yeah, very good job there on the downhill penetration to the short corner, received the help, and got great cut off the ball. And that's what you want off penetration, is to get some basket cuts.
Here's a shot fake and drive. No good. Batted out of bounds. It'll stay here. Ella Hobson able to do a ball fake and get to the basket as we see this instant replay, Craig, of what you're just talking about.
Yeah, again, just the downhill, finding her teammate, but more importantly, the off-the-ball offensive players following the penetration.
Shot missed, and here comes the Heritage Christian Eagles again on the attack. Corinne Marshall drives down the right In good defensive positioning, they're going to call a player control foul, a charge, as Ella Hobson gets right in the way.
Well, and it's always the toughest thing on the stripes. It's the block charge is the toughest thing in basketball to deal with, as we see replay here. I love the downhill penetration, getting on the inside hip and getting downhill, but great job by the Center Grove defender to establish her feet to take that charge.
And so often, if you're taking that contact, you got to be able to stand tall and firm and be able just to absorb that contact. She did a good job of not moving her body. Three-pointer on the way is off the back iron. No. Long rebound taken out by Bischoff. Ane drives the baseline, cut off nicely, and Center Grove will reset.
When I talked about this activity, you can just look and see off the ball, the players jumping on the ball well, sliding through screens. It's good ball positioning, too, where you don't get caught up. You allow your teammate to slide through on some of those exchanges or screens.
Ane pressured by Jocelyn Marshall. Looking for a 5-second call. Good defensive pressure.
Yeah, great ball pressure once again. You see every time they make a pass, they have ball presence, so really good job.
Booker drives and shoots and scores. Aubrey Booker gets on the board and ties it at 2.
I love the little short downhill attack with the pull-up as Maya Davis. We talked on the opening set about how she can hurt you a little bit outside, but she is looking to attack. She loves attacking the basket and does it well.
You talk about downhill, that's Maya Davis's game. She can change gears as quick as anyone we've seen throughout the year. And she's earned a trip to the free throw line.
Well, and Heritage has always been noted to have a couple players that are just, scoring savvy, where they just are in a position where they can put the ball in the basket, and Maya Davis has certainly that next individual to do that here for the Eagles.
67% free throw shooter on the year, knocks them both down. And with 5 minutes to go here in the first quarter, Heritage up by 2, knocked out of bounds as Davis playing the passing lane. Lily Bischoff checked in the game during that timeout for Center Grove. She wears number 24.
A couple sisters on both these teams here tonight.
I always thought that had been cool to play with my brother. That would have been a lot of fun. Booker with the ball. Skip pass. Lily Bischoff drives. Kick out, 3 on the way by Ane from the corner. Rims it no good.
I love the ball movement, though. Inside, outside, passing up shots that the defense really expects you to take, really keeps them off guard.
Geary on the drive, scoop no good. Hustle for the rebound. Pulled away out of there by the Eagles. Frost drives baseline, loses control, and they'll say out of bounds. It'll go to Center Grove.
Well, the difference early on here that I've noticed, too, is Center Grove, to this point at least, very early in this game, has done a better job of really off the pass where they just catch and they read, as opposed to I'm seeing with Heritage, they're catching and they're putting the ball on the floor immediately as opposed to reading. Whenever you do that, you want to catch, you want to face up, you want to see if one of your teammates is closer to basket to play the percentages.
Back cut, deflected. It's good help side. You mentioned jumping to the ball. That's a good example of that. Frost jumped to the ball ahead of that pass and put herself in position. Alternating possession is going to go with Heritage Christian.
Yeah, I love the hustle there by both and then just getting after it on the floor.
Slow-paced game so far, 4-2, halfway through the first quarter. Maya Davis with the ball. She'll shoot a 3. No good, and taken away by Ella Hobson. Hobson pushes the numbers. Corner 3 for Booker. That's rimmed short. Knocked out of bounds by Savannah Bischoff. And that'll go to Heritage Christian.
We talked about, too, one of the keys is how well, we talked about how Center Grove's only giving up 35 points a game. And a lot of times where you have a team like Heritage that likes to get some tempo working, but I've noticed here early on, too, how well they get back in defensive transitioning off missed shots.
Allie Wiseman just checked in the game for Center Grove as they get the defensive rebound. Ane pushes, transition. Wiseman down low, left-hand scoop shot. Can't get it to fall. Battle for the rebound. And they're going to say it's off an Eagle. It'll stay here at Center Grove.
Yeah, great transition there and a great job by Audrey. What we just talked about, catch that ball, get basket vision. She did that, found somebody lower. Weren't able to convert, but that's what you're certainly looking for, not only in transition but a half-court game as well.
Booker swings the ball around. Lily Bischoff can't get it to fall. Davis tries to get it and can't collect that rebound.
Yeah, very good move there by Lily. Did a good job of really the show and go, read her player, and then got downhill again. Couldn't get it to convert, but certainly got to like what they're seeing in the half-court game.
I was going to say, I think Center Grove likes what they're getting offensively. Sure. They just haven't been able to finish as we see a backdoor pass. Booker couldn't get it, but the follow is good by Lily Bischoff off the bench and ties the game.
Yeah, they've came up empty-handed 3 or 4 times, but again, it's not so much you expect those as the game continues to mature that those will eventually fall, but you got to like the action that they're seeing.
Davis's spin move, little off-balance shot. Jones contests the rebound, and it's going to be out of bounds, and it'll stay here with Heritage Christian. Underneath, clear it outside to Jones. She'll reset. Jocelyn Miller to Maya Davis. Deflection stolen out of there by Center Grove, and here they come in transition. Bischoff drives, Euro step, blocked by Frost, out of bounds.
Yeah, last possession by the Trojans. Again, good active hands off the ball and coming up. That's their third deflection that they've had, and two of those 3 have led to steals.
You think about only giving up 35 points a game. That's about 8 a quarter. Is a nice move by Aubrey Booker. Offensive-minded tonight is Booker. Averages 6.5, has 4 points.
Well, and things that, over your Coach Wiseman, you don't want that. Obviously, when a player catches the ball and you're trying to defend them, they still have a dribble up, and you're handing with both arms in the air. Kind of makes you an easy target to attack.
How about Casey Frost with a nice post move to tie it up at 6?
Yeah, great touch there on the turnaround and a soft one at that.
On A, deep for 3, got it.
Well, and she's their leading scorer with 13. First points here tonight, but showing her range as well.
On A's a 38% shooter from downtown, drills her first 3. Meanwhile, Davis draws, and she does what she does, gets down here, creates contact, and goes to the line as we see this three-pointer by Ane.
Well, not only a 3, but a deep one at that. So great job there. And then Davis at the other end shows you exactly what she's about. So just her speed, using her inside, hip and getting downhill with the attack. And she does a great job of not only drawing contact, but a lot of times playing through that contact.
Yeah, you can't expect that whistle, so play through that contact.
She's 3 of 3 here, and see what she does here on her 4th.
And the
jinxed her.
Craig Cox kiss. Miss at the free throw line.
Center Grove doing a good job, too, of spacing you out, too. Yeah. It's one that's not really talked about a lot. We talk about player movement, ball movement, but spacing a lot of times is left out of that, but they're doing a great job of that and creating gaps like this.
And it looks like the ball's moving on the pass, not the dribble, which you like to see. Get that ball moving from side to side to create those opportunities.
Absolutely. Very good point.
Bischoff over to Booker.
And you'll see, too, every time they're catching the ball, very little are they starting with a dribble. And I love that. They're reading the defense and looking for someone making their cuts. But you see they're keeping the 15-foot spacing, which is what you want from an offensive perspective.
Not in a hurry. Good half-court defense also by the Eagles. So they reset. Wiseman thinks about driving, gets cut off.
Yeah, very good patience. It's a very good job on both ends. Heritage staying at it defensively. And then with Center Grove playing the patience and playing for their shot and the continuity of their offense.
Booker on the left wing.
It's almost like they're ready to prepare to play out the rest of the clock. Good closeout.
Booker, they'll reset under 25 seconds. Now they may just want to play for the last shot now. Hand in a passing lane by Jocelyn Marshall. And they'll take the last shot. Wiseman has it at the top of the key.
Usually we want to try to take these around 4 seconds. The opportunity to get a turnover here from Davis.
Davis with the ball, pressure in the steal. Here they come down the court. Booker picks her up. Frost, 3, shoots it from deep. Doesn't get it to fall, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. Our score, Center Grove 9, Heritage Christian 7. We come back and we'll take a break and come back with second quarter action here on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back. We want to let you know that Industrial Sales Associate has been an electromechanical component manufacturer's representative for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Michigan, and Eastern Tennessee for years. Good luck to all the teams. For more information, contact Rich at 317-546-1900. Craig starting the second quarter, Center Grove ball up 2.
Yeah, and just how they started. I mean, you want to come out with ball movement. You want to try to move your defense, inside outside attack with the pass and get a 3.
There you go. Inside outside is what it was, and Ane knocks down her second 3. It's a 12-7 contest, and that pressure by Ane.
Yeah, really good job on the closeout on the baseline, and then more of a dig defensively down there to double that up to force the pass back out that got deflected as well. We see the replay here, downhill attack, force the help, and then what I love about that is the trail circle rotation, the circle movement that you get. Anytime the ball gets downhill, kind of get that circle movement, and you got somebody to bail out as the defense digs down.
Yeah, they just fill in right behind her and have that enough space to knock that down. Geary with the ball for Heritage Christian.
And we talked, too, about that earlier on Heritage's piece when Maya was doing it, is just follow the penetration. They got more basket cuts or more if it's popping out for the 3. But you want to have a person follow the penetration for not only the bailout, and then your weak side can look to cut more to the basket.
Frost goes to her left hand. Cut off. Jocelyn Marshall swings it over to Geary. And now Heritage Christian is the one showing some patience here on the offensive end. Notice the communication. Both teams communicating well on defense. When you play defense for that amount of time, you're going to have to. But Maya Davis drives and scores.
On her first field goal of the night. And before that was happening, I think Center Grove's done a good job to this point in not allowing Heritage to kind of get in a comfort zone. They've kind of been a little bit trying to find their way offensively, at least in the half-court set.
Savannah Bischoff with the ball at the top of the key, over to Booker. Tries to throw it into Wirtz using her 6'3" frame. Good quick double team, which forces a turnover. Geary gets in the passing lane. And they'll slow it up. Good transition D by the Trojans. Davis drives. Shot partially blocked. And Center Grove quickly on the push, up ahead to Booker, and she scores. Aubrey Booker with 6 points.
Well, and I think those are types of things, too, where I think Coach Wiseman probably didn't want that shot by Maya in the way that it came. And a lot of times what that does is leads to a quick break. But before the break, it leads to clean rebounds. It allows you to get the ball out quicker, and that's exactly what the Trojans did for an easy transition point.
Good help side defense by Center Grove. Saved there from Savannah Bischoff. And cut off. Here's the skip pass. Savannah Bischoff with it. Looking inside. High-low. Wirtz inside. Can't get it to fall. And Frost on the block out, and there was going to be a foul. But I like the high-low action, trying to get the 6'3" junior involved in the post.
Yeah, and Rachel, the last 2 or 3 possessions, has done a really good job of really sealing on the post and being in a position where she's had great positioning on the defense and just established that very deep to the basket.
I was going to say almost too good a position.
Yeah.
When she turned, she was a little too far underneath the basket, right?
Yeah, and what great length to have. 6'3", junior. That should be back next year, obviously, for Coach Stuckmeyer.
Frost with the ball. Center Grove trying to keep it on that side of the floor. And Maya Davis will get it between the circles. And she thought Jocelyn Marshall was going to keep cutting. Marshall stopped to post up, and the ball goes out of bounds. It'll be a turnover.
Well, and the Trojans have done a great job here early on in this game in terms of channeling their offensive players, the Eagles, that is, outside the lane. Done a really, really good job of hedging, playing the top side, spirit of influence, trying to keep them to one side and making the court smaller.
I think they're starting Center Grove, it feels like, to get a feel of offensively what Heritage wants to do and also their speed in making adjustments.
Yeah, and they haven't been able to find the comfort as we get a three here by Bischoff. Savannah, that is. I guess we got to clarify who's who here.
On A with her third triple from the top of the key. She's got 9 points, and there's going to be a 30-second timeout by Heritage. It gives us an opportunity to let you know that Aspen Creek, if you feel like treating someone special to a delicious meal from Aspen Creek Grill, well, next time you come in for dinner, buy some gift cards to share with friends. Aspen Creek Grill has great food. Be sure to try our hand-cut fillets. Aspen Creek is located in Noblesville. Carry out orders, you can just call at 317-559-3300. That's Aspen Creek Grill, and we'll have an Aspen Creek Grill trivia question coming up at halftime.
Is it a menu question?
It might be.
I've never been there, so I don't know the menu.
Well, maybe they'll cater a little something in here in the studio. The grill.
Take that.
Thank Aspen Creek for their sponsorship. 4:36 here to go, 17-9.
Speaking of food, I will say, even though we're in basketball season, shout out to Heritage Christian. They usually have one of the better concession stands for football with some of the burger and chicken sandwiches that they do.
Set play. And three is off, and here comes the Trojans. Pushing ahead is Ella Hobson. Backcourt cut.
Great ball movement.
Nice over to Rachel Wirtz for two. Wirtz gets on the board.
Yeah, great job. I mean, it's almost like you're in a position where you could score there, pass up a good shot to even get a better one. She had a layup, drew the defense, and a little shuttle pass as we get a three here by Heritage. But really good job early on here by Center Grove.
A 10-2 run to start the quarter, and the Trojans look to add to that, taking those missed shots and trying to use it in transition. There's a lob, and there's going to be a foul. Ina Williams has checked in the game for Center Grove. And here comes some other players in. Lindsey Walker checking in for the first time. And Lily Bischoff back in. And that's the third foul for Corinne Marshall. Corinne Marshall, that's big. She's one of the leaders.
Second leading scorer on the team with 14 and leading rebounder with 6 a game.
Geary with the nice defense. Good spin move, but couldn't get it to finish.
Well, that's where you're coming out of that spin move, kind of coming to a jump stop and coming off 2 feet and establish yourself.
Yeah,
Kinda
slow
hard
down
to
a little
do.
bit, yeah.
Yeah, because when you get situations like that in transition, you want to be able to convert those.
Three-pointer off the mark, no. Battle for the rebound by Lily Bischoff on the floor. Everyone hustling. Be careful.
You got a few of them on the floor. There's one thing early on here, too, is that both teams have shown their willingness to get on the floor for loose balls. So love the scrappiness in that. We call them a lot of times 50-50 balls because you want to say,
Each team
each has an equal chance. But, as coaching, you always want to talk about you got to turn those 50-50 into 70-30.
Right.
You got to impose your will and not be in a place where you're allowing your opponent to match that.
Want it more. Frost with the ball. Switching man-to-man, ends up with a steal by Williams. 3-on-1 break. Up ahead pass. Couldn't get it to fall with Savannah Bischoff, but it's a 3 on the way from Lindsey Walker. They get a 3 out of it from the 5'6" senior off the bench.
I guess they wanted the 3 instead of the 2, but again, great job of looking ahead in transition as Casey Frost here getting downhill with that. We'll take a look here at the transition. Couldn't get it to finish. Had a defender on her. saw the unoccupied teammate outside for her to knock down that three. So great job there by Lindsey Walker getting on the board.
13-2 run, Craig, to start this second quarter. We only have 2.5 minutes remain. Frost puts a dent in that and hits her free throw for her third point.
Yeah, I think, again, as we mentioned earlier, I mean, Center Grove's done a nice job defensively, not allowing Heritage to gain any type of comfort. They've shut down all the pace that Heritage likes to do. I don't know that they've had 2 opportunities in transition, but have missed both of those. So that's a great testament to the Trojan defense thus far.
Hobson brings it across the timeline. There's a shot fake and a drive, and it's up and good by Lily Bischoff.
Yeah, great job by Lily on the attack. Weak side, you want to be in a position where you're more midline on that to be able to draw her and attack that on the short corner and prevent her getting in the lane.
Deep three is no good. Battle for the rebound. Walker comes away with it. Lily Bischoff on the push. And through the hands of Walker. Turnover from Center Grove.
Well, there'll be some things that Coach Wiseman will have to do, even in these last couple minutes and into halftime, is finding other ways to find that comfort in the half-court set and maybe try to get a few points here in transition. The Eagles are finding out just how stingy this Trojan defense is with only 11 points under 2 minutes to go.
Jones checks in and looks like a backcourt violation. And that ball pressure again. Pressure defense, getting in that ball handler and the player with the ball, just making them uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's causing some havoc to this point for the Eagles. And again, a lot of basketball to play. But again, they're just going to have to find some other things to do as their points of attack.
Nice defensive effort there by Davis as she deflects the back screen. And Jocelyn Marshall brings it across, being hounded by Bischoff.
There's a great weak side presence, great off the ball presence that you have. You see it even there too. That time she kind of reached in a bit, but they're in a position that you like your off the ball defenders to be, cutting down those gaps. And Heritage is a team that likes to get to the penetration. And so they've done a very, very good job with that to this point with their defensive positioning.
Minute 22 left here in the first half. Heritage Christian with the ball out of bounds. Geary has it on top. She'll give it over to Davis. Davis has 5 points inside the Frost. Good post move. And they're going to call a foul on Aubrey Booker. And that'll send Frost to the free throw line where she's 2 for 2. No free throws yet for Center Grove. Frost eyes the first one and makes that. The 5'10 sophomore now with 5. And she'll earn a second free throw here. And it's up and good. Nice high arcing shot.
It's 4 for 4 from the line tonight, shooting it well from the straight. See if they can get something going. You want to think about successive stops. Back-to-back stops and being able to convert on 50% of those can help climb you back into this game with here just a minute to go before halftime.
Lily Bischoff over to Ane.
See if they might play this out like they did at the end of the first quarter. Clark,
that's a good point.
Had almost a minute possession.
And I think they were happy to do that unless they get a layup. They're not in a hurry. They've got the lead. Lily Bischoff, it seems like all players 1 through 5 on the court right now are comfortable handling on the perimeter. Williams has it.
Well, and the other thing that this does, whether you're playing for this or not, is it shows a lot of great discipline and the buy-in from these kids into Coach Stuckmeyer's system. But it also prepares you for other moments other than the one you're in right now. You never know when you're going to be in situations where you might have to do this. And then if you're Coach Wiseman, you got to have your kids dig in and know that, hey, there's going to be some long possessions possibly.
Here we go. Under 7 seconds. They're in their offense as Lily Bischoff takes the pass and gets fouled. That's a good foul by Heritage Christian. That's only your 4th team foul If you've got room to do that, as long as it's not in that shooting motion, that's a smart foul there.
You don't put them on the line, and you give them a much reduced clock to work with.
Set play on A. Can't get it to fall. Rebound. And let's see. The officials are going to call the end of the half, and that was a good call. 24-13. Center Grove ahead of Heritage Christian. And really on the strength, Craig, of that second quarter, the Trojans outscore Heritage Christian 15-6 to take that commanding 11-point lead.
Yeah, and they got a lot of that, not only through the ball movement, but they were able to hit 3 or 4 outside shots too, which kind of stretches your defense to where you have to play that more honest. And then it was opening up a lot more for the inside pass, mostly to Wirtz.
We'll take a break here at halftime and come back with some stats. It's Center Grove 24, Heritage Christian 13 here on Indiana SRN.
Today, greed, selfish interest, and barefaced corruption seem all the fashion. America needs great men of tolerance who can give honest debate to the great issues of the day. I'm seeing mostly squabbling, men squandering their time, being wolves to one another. Yet, I'm not without hope. We still have Freemasonry. Yes, the same Freemasons that helped create this country have always provided great men when needed. And today, in every city and town in America, Freemasonry is still providing that special place where young men can find their greatness and accomplished men can give something back. Yes, in this time of great hope, it is my hope that America will see that Freemasonry is a national treasure that cannot be separated from our country's future.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
I am Heritage.
Heritage Christian. We are Heritage.
I am Heritage.
We are Heritage.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
Welcome back to Heritage Christian High School. It's halftime. Center Grove leads Heritage Christian by a score of 24-13. Ref Reps is designed in partnership with numerous state high school associations, helping officials to hone their skills and promote unity in their officiating world. Ref Reps is for the new official as well as the seasoned veteran. Contact us at refreps.com. Want to give a special shout out to Justin Griffiths for his service at IndianaSRN, taking a leave of absence, and we appreciate Justin for all his fine work that he's done for us here on IndianaSRN. You are appreciated, Justin. And now, Craig, it's the moment we've all been waiting for. It's the Aspen Creek Grill Trivia Question of the Night. Here it is. The question is, what team drafted Kobe Bryant? Is it the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Charlotte Hornets, or the Denver Nuggets? Be sure to tweet us at IndianaSRN, and you could win a gift certificate to Aspen Creek Grill. Again, what team drafted Kobe Bryant? Was it the Los Angeles Lakers, the Los Angeles Clippers, the Charlotte Hornets, or the Denver Nuggets? Tweet us at IndianaSRN. Halftime adjustments being made. Craig, what are these coaches giving their instructions to their players here as we get ready to set for the third quarter?
Well, I think for Heritage, it's more, hey, let's get back to the core of who we are. And one, they got to find a different level of comfort within their half-court set. And try to get, a few points here or there transition-wise, but I think they got to do that with some different action. There hasn't been too many ball screens. There hasn't been a lot of inside-outside. It's been a lot of ISO and create your own, and they've had a little bit more lower percentage shots. I think if obviously on Coach Stuckemeyer and the Trojans, I think, hey, we continue to do what we're doing. They average 50 a game, and they're at 24. They give up 35 points a game, and Heritage has 13. So they're doing what they need to. They've done a good job of inside and outside, and they've gotten their fair pieces of transitions. They just haven't been able to convert them.
Yeah, and I think a lot of Center Grove's offense there in that second quarter where they scored 15 points, a lot of that came from, as we see, a nice back cut by Andre Ane with her first 2-point field goal.
And great job there on the read where she was being overplayed, but even more so the basket vision that her teammate had to be able to find her.
Shot put up, no. Loose ball scrambled for by Corinne Marshall, and it'll say out of bounds. They'll go to Center Grove. The point I was trying to make there, I think a lot of Center Grove's defense led to those transition offense in that 15 points there in the second quarter as they face a little pressure themselves as Heritage goes to a man-to-man full court press. Savannah Bischoff clears to Hobson. And they will reset.
And I love that. You push the ball as much as you can to get the percentage shot. But great decision-making as Davis gets the passing lane here to get a steal. But great job of you want to push, you want to push, you want to push. But if the defense does what they need to do in stopping you, you got to have good discernment to be able to read that and say it's not there and to make the wise decision to come out and play for a better one. So great job there, even though it didn't work out for Center Grove. Davis did a great job here of jumping the lane, getting the deflection, and getting downhill for this as she now goes 4 of 5 now from the line for Amaya Davis. She's a 21-point scorer at this point and has 6 on the night, make it 7.
And that's the second foul on Rachel Wirtz, the 6'3 junior. As the inbound against the man-to-man pressure. Races up the court. Hobson comes to a jump stop, turns, nothing there, and wide open. She'll put it up and score. Ella Hobson, her first field goal, the 5'6" senior. It's Davis with the ball in the half court. Geary to Corinne Marshall. Guarded closely by Booker. Little weave action to try to create a driving lane, and they're going to call it.
Legal screen, I believe.
Yeah, a little moving screen action on the perimeter. I think that's a point of emphasis I've seen a lot, especially on those dribble handoffs.
Yeah, and it's become the dribble handoff has become such a big part of the game. You saw it for years in collegiate and high school, and not that you haven't seen it in high school, but on the boys and girls side, over the last 2 to 3 years, it's just more and more becoming such a big dominant piece. You know, you look at the ball screen, it's the toughest thing in basketball to defend. Well, you know, when you get a dribble handoff, it kind of serves as a brush screen, if you will, and it can be tough as well.
Works in the post. Good defense collapse on A, drives, and she'll go to the line. Audrey on A will go to the free throw line, where she is a 68% free throw shooter, and this is Center Grove's first free throws of the night.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, it's been that's an interesting piece too, because they attack the basket pretty well. So that's a little surprising that this is the first one as she knocks it down with Audrey.
She'll get another opportunity. 12 points. Now at 13, which is right at her average. And it's a 30-15 lead. Davis with the ball. Frost cut off. Three-pointer on the way deep is long and no good by Jocelyn Marshall. Rebounded by the Trojans, and here they come in transition. Hobson drives, and she'll go to the free throw line as she initiates some offense.
Well, it's a really tough shot that was taken by Heritage on the last one. It's one, and I believe, was it Gary that took that?
I think it was Jocelyn Marshall.
And doesn't matter who it takes. But, I mean, you can almost get that at any point on any possession of any given part of the game. There's one pass and a pulled three. You can always, every possession can result in that. So you want to try to break your defense down a bit, inside, outside, or with penetration to try to get a better percentage shot and to make your defense work for it as opposed to pulling up and taking a quick one.
Both free throws good by Hobson. She now has 4, and it leads up to 17 for Center Grove. Corinne Marshall with the ball. She gives it to Frost.
Yeah, and there's just great defensive presence on and off the ball. You see the switch here. Don't want to reach there, but there's just great presence on the ball and eliminating a lot of these penetration gaps, which is what you want, especially against a team like Heritage that wants to do just that.
Yeah, when you're driving, your vision's somewhat limited too, right? You're not going to be able to see the whole court. And, again, good defensive pressure and switching. That's foul, though, on Rachel Wirtz. That's her third foul, so she'll be out of the game. Meanwhile, back to the action. Geary on the baseline, cut off. And that pressure, they're going to say it was deflected out of bounds.
Well, and Maddie's thinking the right way. We talked about that earlier. When you get downhill, you want to have that circle movement and have somebody trail the penetration.
Mm-hmm.
However, you just can't always expect it. You still got to turn and read with her teammate not doing what she was expecting there.
Davis inside, and the finish is good. Jocelyn Marshall on the board.
Yeah, and good find there. Good slip cut. So we get another attack downhill. You're going to get a charge here. Yep, sure did.
On the drive is going to be called for the charge. Good position by Casey Frost.
Yeah, great job of, there's a different type of mentality a lot on boys and girls side that are playing in terms of standing in there, establish your feet, knowing you're going to get the contact. There's just a lot of players that aren't willing to do that. So you love to have a few of those on your team to do so.
Sacrifice your body for the good of the team. This Corinne Marshall drives, cut off nicely by Savannah Bischoff. Geary. Davis. Ooh, and she anticipated a cut. Stolen by Hobson. Nice look ahead pass, and Booker gets her first field goal to the second half. Give her 8 on the night.
Yeah, and great read by Nate. I mean, there saw the defense. Defensive player had their back to them, wasn't able to read, and the ball came right overhead for an uncontested layup.
And we'll take a full timeout. Center Grove ahead of Heritage Christian 34-17.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Hoosier Basketball Magazine. It's in its 53rd year and is out now. Order today at HoosierBasketball-magazine.com or call 317-925-8200. Follow the top players in high school and college basketball. Thanks to Kip Wessner and Hoosier Basketball Magazine for their support of IndianaSRN. As we take a look at this look-ahead throw by Hobson up to Booker, and finishes off that transition basket with 2.
Yeah, great read there. So I got a question for you, Clark.
I'm all ears.
As we said at the beginning of the game, today is National Popcorn Day. So I got to ask you, are you a microwave popcorn guy or are you a stove pop or a stovetop popcorn guy?
Well, just because of convenience and because of it's just quick.
You want it now.
I want it now. I'm a microwave guy. But it's always an odd amount of time that I have to put on the mic. Like it's a minute 52 or something.
Yeah.
For that perfect pop.
Yeah, no, I'm just the microwave to me is just a little too dry. I'm old school, not Jiffy Pop though.
No, not the Jiffy Pop.
No,
the aluminum.
No. I put mine. I use a wok and olive oil, and I have popcorn quite frequently.
You are a popcorn connoisseur,
I
Mr.
am.
Craig Cox. I did not know that about you.
No, I love me some popcorn.
Gourmet at that. As Maya Davis knocks down her first free throw.
It's brought to our attention by our producer Ben here tonight too that Heritage Christian has been recognized as they got like a popcorn award for their concessions.
Well, Coach Keith Myers, he loves his. He has that popcorn award.
Keith loves all types of foods. I mean, it's whether it's the BLT, every
sloppy
time
Joe.
The sloppy. Every time we have a food a restaurant place, it's like Coach always recommends this. So I think he's a foodie.
He's got it down pat, that's for sure. Nothing gets by Coach. 34-20, halfway through the third quarter. Lily Bischoff will bring it across the timeline. And here comes the trap off the pass. Nice adjustment by Coach Wiseman. Allie Wiseman, left hand, no. Cleared out of there by Jocelyn Marshall.
Yeah, really good defensive possession there by Heritage. Looks like we're going to get a carry here, which probably is a call that doesn't get called enough, especially on the boys' side. But yeah, they did a great job last defensive piece to shrinking the court, keeping the court smaller, playing the high side, getting a double there. But again, we talk about successive stops and then trying to score on at least 50% of those will chew your way potentially back into this game.
Yeah, Heritage forcing to a side and then trapping that first pass. Center Grove handled it much better that time and expecting it.
Love the ball movement here by the Trojans, shifting the defense side to side, get really not unnecessary foul. I mean, this is where the things you kind of get yourself in positions where you're having the unnecessary fouls when an offensive player isn't in a scoring position. It's just not needed. What you want to do is to try to create a turnover by the sense of your presence, but not bailing them out when they're not in a scoring threat. Look at this great post position here and sealing off. I don't know if they're going to get a travel or a foul here. It looks like a foul on the floor.
Yeah, it looks like Allie Wiseman was posting up, and the defender kind of kept pushing her out, and that'll be a foul. That's Heritage's 5th team foul.
And you know the old Allie Wiseman a bit, too.
I do know Allie Wiseman, and especially her dad and her uncles. The Wiseman family.
Yeah, great job in the post there, establishing herself.
Nice bounce pass, cut off.
I just love not just the ball movement, but I love how this Trojan offense finds their teammates.
They're unselfish.
They're always looking. They're always sharing. This is a team that averages about 15 assists a game. So it shows they share the ball. But I love just where they have the presence of finding, when they draw multiple defenders, where they're finding their teammates. That goes not only through coaching, but it also goes with personnel trust. Here you see it again.
Back cut off, and stolen out of there by Yantu Jones.
And sometimes those can be some frustration fouls. She knew she made a turnover that she didn't want to make naturally and made her own decision. But then sometimes you multiply that by trying to make up for it and then getting a silly foul 80 feet from the basket.
Center Grove's 15 fouls. Some substitutions come in. Heritage Christian ball. Maya Davis will bring it across the timeline. Center Grove still in that sticky man-to-man defense. Three-pointer on the way from the corner is good. Corin Marshall, her 5th point, cuts it down to 12. And then a traveling violation on the other end by Lily Bischoff.
Yeah, nice call by the official. We see this here. Just a quick pass out. Good job where she almost had an idea what she was going to do with the ball by setting her feet.
2:37 left here in the third.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
At one point in my life, alcohol ruled supreme. It was not impossible for me to wake up just as drunk as before I went to sleep, and I use the term go to sleep loosely. I think on most nights it wasn't falling asleep, it was just passing out. There was no way I was getting out of it with my own willpower, so I decided to give Wheeler a try. And since my graduation from Wheeler's program, alcohol has not had any kind of hold on me whatsoever.
Good.
Heritage Christian High School, the Eagles have cut that Center Grove lead to 12 at 34-22. And we want to let you know that Tam's Sweet and Savory Cafe is a new spot for breakfast or lunch. Open Wednesday through Sunday. Try the classic breakfast or the sweet baked goods. Located in Lawrence, Indiana. Check out Tam's at 6427 Oak Landing Road or carry out at 317-760-1640. Heritage Christian with the ball. A little bit of a run here. They've cut that 17-point Trojan lead down to 5, but a turnover as Savannah Bischoff collects it. And in transition, Hobson with the layup. Ella Hobson with 6 points this quarter. And boy, that's crushing. You start to get a little momentum if you're Heritage Christian. You hit a three, you force a turnover, you force a timeout. And they come down and they get a turnover and score themselves the other team.
Yeah, and this is the thing that they've just been all over Maya Davis to this night. She's got one field goal, had a few free throws, but and that's the tough thing when you have a player on your team that does a lot of scoring, and you not so much frustrate that, but you kind of lock that player down a bit. Who else picks that up? Well, and what type of situation does that put on your team offensively?
And that player might start forcing some things as well because they're not used to getting being in that position.
Yeah, and we've certainly seen that with Maya tonight with 3 or 4 times where she's taken probably some more ill-advised shots, and so she just hadn't been able to find any rhythm and credit the Trojan defense.
Nice drive, but cut off. Jocelyn Marshall had a tough angle there for that baseline shot. Meanwhile, Center Grove back the other way, and Hobson scores again, getting some confidence. Her 3rd field goal of this half.
Yeah, and she's one that started the game, didn't have any points in the first half at all, and so she's done a great job here with 8. But, yeah, going back to Davis, I mean, this is a team that's averaging 60 points. Well, she's scoring 21 of them. I mean, she's 30%, a little over 33% of the points. And nobody else tonight has been able to take that up. And they're sitting out of place now almost at the end of the third quarter with points that she averages, and she's sitting on 7.
And it looks like we might have an injury timeout. And give us a chance to say that Jack Cherry Insurance Agency is who we suggest you contact his team for all your insurance needs, whether it's family, car, business, or home. It's an insurance company to serve you. Contact them today at 317-894-0000. $7,000. That's the Jack Cherry Insurance Agency. While we have a little time out here, let's run down some of the scoring for Center Grove. Adriana has 13 points. Aubrey Booker with 8. Lindsey Walker with 3. Ella Hobson with 8. Lily Bischoff with 4. And Rachel Wirtz with 2. Meanwhile, for Heritage Christian, their scoring goes like this. Maya Davis has 9 points. Corinne Marshall has 5. Jocelyn Marshall with 2. And Casey Frost with 6. So a little more balance from the Trojans as we see, distributed throughout. And Adriana really got them going in that first half, connecting on 3 3-pointers to get the offense going. Minute 14 left here. Minute 14 up here left in the third quarter. And let's also take a look at what's coming up on IndianaSRN. We have Brebeuf versus Guerin Catholic. That's a boys and girls doubleheader. The girls will tip off first, followed by the boys. So be sure to tune in for both of those games. We also have Lafayette Central Catholic at Traders Point on Friday night. North Decatur Chargers against the Morristown Yellow Jackets in a Mid-Hoosier Conference clash. That's a special night for Morristown. That's a Hall of Fame induction. You know, Craig, Morristown has in part of their induction, they're going to have 3 guys that have scored 2,000 points. Only school in the state that can claim that. And then Park Tudor against Bethesda Christian. There's some really good players in that matchup that you're not going to want to miss. And then this weekend, also on Saturday, we have the City Alliance semifinals. So some good stuff on our airways. Be sure to turn in and watch all the action. 3 on the way by Corinne Marshall is good. And Corinne Marshall, her second 3, trying to get some offense going here for Heritage Christian.
You know, going back to Morristown, too, opinionated piece, but they got probably one of the neatest floors in the state of Indiana.
A little
and
beehive.
The beehive,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and then the lane has honeycombs in it. Really good design and a neat little gym at that.
Yeah, they call it the Hive. It's a pretty cool spot. And I was just thinking about, man, to score 2,000 points,
Yeah.
like
3 times, that's pretty incredible.
You've got to be able to play a lot of games and be the focal point of some of these defenses. Is a nice drive and score by Lily Bischoff.
And if you're Coach Wiseman, that's something you can't see. Somebody dribbling from outside the arc, getting all the way down hill and getting a position where it's an uncontested layup.
2-on-1 break, a nice bounce pass by Booker.
It's a Lily Bischoff again, I think.
Bischoff gets the score. 5 seconds, drive down the lane. And Jocelyn Marshall is fouled. Well, she'll go to the free throw line. But a nice 2-on-1 the other way. Give Center Grove the basket in transition. Jocelyn Marshall quickly down and draws the foul with 2.5 seconds. She'll go to the free throw line. Marshall averages 10.1 points per contest. She's a 5'9" sophomore, 2 points tonight. And she'll get 2 free throws here. Eyes the first one up, and it falls through. Only 1 free throw missed in the entire game, Craig, and that was one you jinxed back in the first half.
First half, right. First quarter might even been with Maya Davis.
It was. The second one is up and good. 2.5 seconds. Hobson heaves it from three-quarter court. And that'll do it for the third quarter. Another impressive quarter by Center Grove, and they extend that lead 42-27 with 1 quarter left here on IndianaSRN.
Calling officials cheaters or corrupt, it's not a game.
Insulting referees, it's not a game.
Threatening officials, it's not a game.
Berating young umpires, learning the ropes, it's not a game.
Violent language in the stands, it's not a game.
Verbal abuse from the sideline, it's not a game.
Screaming at a referee in the parking lot,
It's not a game.
Back here at Heritage Christian High School, Clark Chafin, Craig Cox, Ben Wood, and Jake Lang happy to bring you the action. We're getting set for the fourth quarter, and Center Grove extends that 11-point lead up to 15 as they lead 42-27. As we begin the fourth quarter, it will be Heritage Christian basketball. Heritage put up 14 points in that third quarter. They only had 13 at half, so a nice productive quarter for them.
Well, and finished it on an 8-2 run to kind of stretch this back to 15 at that, too.
Drive by Jocelyn Marshall, kicks it baseline. Frost tries to save it, and she does to Jocelyn Marshall. Geary for three, off the iron, no, and Adriane with the rebound.
Well, they're not only a stingy defense, but they're also stingy from a standpoint that they just don't give up very many occasions and where they give their opponent multiple chances. I mean, it's a one shot and done most of the time, and tribute their great blocking out and getting these defensive rebounds.
Baseline drive. And a traveling call on Geary. The 5'7" senior drove in the lane, just drug that pivot foot and got called for the traveling violation. And Trojan basketball, a little token pressure here by Geary. She's guarding Lily Bischoff. Over to Savannah Bischoff. Man-to-man defense on A drives. Bobble three, probably threw her off, was on A in the corner. And gathered is Geary for Heritage Christian. Being guarded by Wurtzman, it might be something that they could take advantage of. Maddie Geary being guarded by the 6'3" Rachel Wirtz, but we got a spin move in the paint, no good. And cleared out there by Center Grove. Bischoff, inside-outside dribble down the lane. Oh, can't get it to go. Wirtz with the putback field goal is good.
Oh, and that's what she gives you is that length. You like to be able to knock that downhill attack off, but great job there by Rachel of getting the carom and the easy putback.
Craig, did you know that Jack's Donuts has donuts made and served fresh every day, plus great tasting coffee? Stop by Jack's Donuts at 9105 East 56th Street or Jack's Donuts in your neighborhood. Jack's Donuts, the official donut of IndianaSRN. Thank you, Jack's Donuts, for being the official donut and coffee maker. 6:19 to go here in the fourth quarter. Center Grove comfortably ahead 44-27. And again, as we looked at their future games, Center Grove with only one more game remaining, and that's against Greenwood.
Greenwood.
And then they're in sectional 13, 4A sectional 13 at Bloomington South. They're 2-0 against the sectional field. And if I look at sectional 27 for Heritage Christian, that's the 3A sectional at Brebeuf. They got to be pleased where they're sitting in terms of the sectional field. They're 4-0 so far against teams in their sectional. So their tough conference or the tough schedule that they play in the regular season prepares them for that postseason play.
It does, and I mean Center Grove's the one that's used to this. I mean they won sectionals in 18 and 19. Obviously Heritage won their sectional last year in 2A. Before moving up in class this year to the 3A.
Center Grove with the ball, working around four outside, one inside. Lily Bischoff with the ball, deflected by Geary. She controls, and they'll reset. Wirtz to Savannah Bischoff. Booker drives. Nice unselfish play, but can't get it to fall with Savannah Bischoff. And out of bounds off the Trojans.
Yeah, that's two of the last three possessions where they've had bunnies, and they've missed them both. But good job finding each other in terms of off the penetration. But ones you just got to have. Might not end up hurting you in tonight with what looks to be a victory, but at the same time, next game might not be this particular situation for them.
Lily Bischoff to Savannah Bischoff to Hobson. And everyone can handle the ball well for Center Grove. A nice cut. And up and in is Lily Bischoff. She's now in double figures with 10. Nice unselfish play on the back cut.
And they keep doing things just offensively with things that the game is designed to do, with ball movement, advancing the ball with the pass and not the dribble. Even we talk about that a lot in terms of transition. But what are you doing in a half-court set? It's obviously with penetration, which you want to try to draw two defenders, but the ball movement actually just institutes your defense breakdown, because it's just going to eventually happen. And they do that with not only the passing but the cuts, and doing a very, very good job. And so hats off to Coach Stuckemeyer and just what he's done with or continues to do with this program.
Maya Davis was fouled on the drive. She goes to the free throw line. Missed the first one. Her second one's up and good. She's now 8 of 10 from the free throw line. 8 of her 10 points. Also has 10 points. 8 of those from the free throw line as well. Only one field goal. You got to credit the Trojan defense for that. Hobson with the ball up top to Bischoff as they work it around the perimeter.
You know, one thing I like, too, about this, Clark, is they're not showing any different face. I mean, they're up 18, and they're still doing exactly what they did early on in the first quarter. And that's what you want. That's a sign of a strong team, whether you're up or they're down. No matter what the situation show to you, we stay and do what we do. And it's paying great dividends for them here tonight.
Hobson's runner was off, cleared by Frost, and here comes the Eagles. Corinne Marshall. Step back on the corner and maybe partially blocked. 3 from Center Grove, no good. Walker tried to get her second 3 just off the front iron. And a spin move and one. Jocelyn Marshall.
Yeah, she's probably saying, hey, if my sister can't do it, then I'll do it.
And she got it. Nice left-hand dribble to the paint, reverse pivot. As we see her break it down here, Craig.
Great job of inside foot getting the spin move, a nice soft kiss off the glass there to get that. So playing through the contact again. Might add, too, their mother Angie's one of the coaches on the team, too. So big family affair here tonight with both these teams having sisters, but Heritage not only having the 2 sisters, but a mom coaching as well.
Free throw and one is good. She's 3 for 3 from the line and now has 7 points. This Jocelyn Marshall. And now the little diamond pressure. Skip up the head. Lindsey Walker goes after the ball.
He got hit, bumped in knees. Looks like she clutched her knee right away, and I think they collided with that. So certainly hope she's okay here, and never like to see this. But she immediately went down and kind of grabbed it. So we'll hope for the best here.
Well, if you like what you see, please let us know. Email us at indianasrn@coach@indianasrn.org. If you would like to help us get more student athletes on air, go to our website. It's indianasrn.org and hit the donate button on the screen. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game. So we appreciate you tuning in, watching us, and be pushed out to YouTube moments later tonight. So thank you for joining us. 46-31 right now. Center Grove ahead with 3:49 left remaining in this contest. The lead's been as much as 17 points.
It looks like that was Lindsey Walker on the injured player. Needs some assistance off, so certainly hope she is okay.
Now with a senior this late in the regular season, with a sectional draw coming up this Sunday, you don't want to see anyone go down with any injuries, as Lily Bischoff will go to the free throw line in place of Lindsey Walker. Bischoff, 10 points on 5 field goals. Her first free throw is up, short, and no good. And here come the Eagles. Maya Davis steps into a jump shot off the front rim, no. Savannah Bischoff clears the rebound, and here comes Hobson. On A to Booker for 3 in the corner, no good. but good hustle by Hobson on the weak side rebound. And it looks like Heritage Christian's gone to a little bit of a zone here, Craig.
Yeah, more of a 1-2-2, trying to spread them out, making it a little tougher, having them start their offense much higher than they'd like. And that's how you neutralize that, though, is find the gaps, and especially from the weak side to be able to flash those or get some pin screens to get some skip passing. Hobson
dives in the middle. There's a three by Ane. She got it. Her 4th three of the night. Give her 16 now in total. That inside-outside action, as you mentioned.
Yeah, and she's the only double-digit scorer on this team over the season, and she's certainly showing that tonight with 3 above her average.
Frost in the post.
Good footwork.
Yeah.
Couldn't get it finished, but good post-entry pass. But, again, this is what Center Grove's been doing and hitting them in terms of what those clean rebounds have done is lead them to early fast breaks.
51 to 31, a 20-point advantage, the largest of the night. As Maya Davis brings it across the timeline, scoop with the left hand, no good. Booker on the rebound.
Yeah, Maya's just had a really tough night. Just really hadn't had to find her spot. She's a very special player, but special players have these nights at times, and so best thing you'll do is to try to get them quickly out of your system and on to the next. And they will have 4 more as they will travel to Fort Wayne this weekend.
3 on the way by Bischoff, no good. Ane with the rebound and the foul. Are you going to call it and one, or is it on the floor?
I thought it was on the rebound on the ground. No, they're going to count it. It's got continuation now.
So Ane with the field goal. That gives her now 20. There's a host of substitutions for both teams with the last minute and 50 seconds. So Mae Munson has checked in. We'll try to get you some other subs as they've checked in. Looks like Molly Eckel for Heritage Christian as well as Hazel Wright. Ane misses the free throw. Davis up ahead. And Ava Grant, the 5'6" sophomore, all checking in. Allie Wiseman back in the game. Brooklyn Brown, I see, also in there for Center Grove. And in our other game tonight that's still going on, it's halftime of the quarterfinals of the city tournament. Heritage Christian ahead of Bishop Chatard at halftime, 18-17. I know we had that game during the regular season. That was a one-possession game all the way to the final buzzer.
Yeah, it was a missed free throw, and got tipped out, and they hit a 3 at the buzzer to win. So it was a dynamic and electrifying game.
And I think it's still, I think it's back at the same spot. I think it's still at Chatard. So should be a fun game for the second half. After ours, you can tune in and watch that one as there's a foul as Geary drives the lane.
That one will be for the rights to go to the semifinals on Saturday, which I believe you and Coach will be on that game.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Championship will be set for Monday.
Bring you that semifinal action. Maddie Geary, free throw up and good. And then, as you said, Craig, the final game is Monday night. Geary, the 5'7" senior, gets on the board with her first free throw. Second one is up and a short. Wiseman with the rebound. Throw it over to Brooklyn Brown. Some new faces in the game for Center Grove. That's Ava Grant.
Good job there of just, again, basket vision. Wirtz was able to get free and be at the basket uncontested.
Wirtz with a field goal. She now has 6. And timeout as we're going to get some more substitutions in. And it'll be Heritage Christian ball out of bounds. Down in the paint. Here's a drive. Shot up, and there'll be a foul. And to the free throw line go the Eagles.
Coach Wiseman continuing to run to the end of her bench. which is great. I mean, you give an opportunity when the game's kind of out of reach. You give some that might not get those ongoing, minutes, or otherwise they wouldn't get, as they're getting here tonight with a marginal loss coming here. But that can pay dividends, regardless if you have a player sick or injured, and you never know when you might need to call upon them. So some good experience, and we talked about how young they are. 4 freshmen, 3 sophomores on this varsity team. And a lot of underclassmen that are starting as well. So they're young and still learning quite a bit against a team that's very deep in Center Grove and has quite a bit of experience.
Under a minute to play. Rachel Wirtz with the ball. Brooklyn Brown. Wiseman drives down the lane. And they'll back it out. Heritage Christian not going to foul here. Double team Wiseman down low. Maybe Munson couldn't handle the pass. It's stolen with 20 seconds left. Here come the Eagles. Jeliza Lampesley puts the shot up. No good. And Lapsley. Here's the pass to Isabella Papineau. And that'll do it for the end of the game. Our final score, Center Grove 55, Heritage Christian 33. And Center Grove, after a 9-7 first quarter, really took advantage of transition offense with rebounding and going, and cruises to a 55-33 victory. It's time for our Piper Logistics Player of the Game. Craig, who is our Piper Logistics Player of the Game?
Well, before we announce it, I'll tell you, it's hard from a standpoint that I love how the Center Grove team played, how they share the ball. They play very unselfishly. So there's a number of them you can give it to. But I think Audrey Ane, obviously she ended up with 20, but she also not only did it from a point perspective, she's one that kind of led the way in terms of a lot of those assists and getting them out on the break as well. So Audrey Ane is player of the game here tonight.
Ane with 3 threes there in the first half. Really got the offense going for Center Grove, and she's our Piper Logistics Player of the game. Well, we're going to thank you for tuning in. I'd like to thank our team for tonight. Ben Wood, our producer, with Jake Lang for all his great camera shots, and, of course, my partner, Craig Cox, for all he does. I'm Clark Chafin. We'll see you next time. So long, everybody.
Turn everything off. If I can log out.